What's going on, guys? Welcome to the channel and welcome to today's video. If you guys are new here, thanks for stopping by. This is going to be an interesting kind of video today. We're going to be doing a top 10 American Ninja Warrior Season 11 City Qualifiers runs. So that's a mouthful, but basically what that means is I'm going to be selecting 10 runs from the Season 11 City Qualifiers portion of American Ninja Warrior. I'm going to go over the criteria for the run to be featured, and I also would like to state that they are in no particular order. They're generally, chronological from city to city. And there are a lot of runs that I'm not going to be able to cover in this video that were definitely worth watching and were also very inspiring. So yeah, first off, I just want to say that, Season 11 was a great time. City Qualifiers, for everyone who participated, you guys did a great job. It was so fun to be a part of that and to hit my first buzzer. Alright, so we're going to be talking about the qualifications that a run needs in order to be part of this top 10. I'm going to be kind of choosing from more unknown ninjas, which basically means that their portion of the City Qualifier run wasn't featured on their YouTube channel or the social media. Although their specific run wasn't individually featured, it must have been aired on the City Qualifier episode. Otherwise, there's no way for you guys to see it and check it out. And so it's going to be a combination of story, athleticism, and entertainment that the run, had to offer in order for it to be selected. So in order to make this video, I had to literally buy a Hulu subscription, watch every single City Qualifiers episode again, and then really pinpoint each run that I wanted to select, go back. It was a really big pain. I tried to screen record it on my phone and laptop, and apparently there are copyright issues with that, so I literally had to take my phone, record my freaking laptop. So basically what I'm trying to say is that this video, it took some time, took some effort. So if you guys would take the time, just take a quick second to drop this video a like, go comment down in the section below if you guys enjoy this content, on what else you'd like to be seen, and make sure you subscribe to my channel, hit the bell icon because that will give you all of my notifications, and be sure to share this video with your guys' friends. That short amount of time that doing those things take really helps me out, and I appreciate it. So we're going to start off this top 10 with LA, which was the very first city that A&W went to for this season. And so at number 1 we have Ben Udy, or Chad Flexington. This guy, he did make the cut on YouTube for having a city finals featurette, but since he didn't have a city qualifier YouTube portion, we're going to cover him for our first one. I really love the showmanship that this guy brings to the course. I always nod ahead at fellow ninjas who compete that are well balanced in terms of athleticism and have a good physique, because it's really difficult to carry around that muscle mass on the course and be efficient with it. So shout out to him for making those gains, making them work for him on the course. So Ben starts off the course hitting a few flexes, a few poses, and then he springs right into the shrinking steps. Just zero hesitation, going through them very efficiently, and then he heads towards walk the plank. As he ascends, he's a little cautious, making sure to look around, and then just goes straight into the second half of that obstacle, absolutely annihilating it. I love how he throws in a little pose after each obstacle he completes. It's a nice touch. For spring forward, he takes a few extra swings, but he manages to get through it in a very timely manner. And then with Diamond Dash, oh man, he makes up for that lost time on that previous obstacle, just barreling through it and hitting a really interesting prance at the end of it. And for the 5th obstacle is the spin hopper. He starts off very strong, doing a great job. Watching competitors take on this obstacle, get zero chalk, and just looking at the handholds, it's absolutely nuts. I feel like it'd be very hard to hold on to that. And so he gets through 90% of this obstacle, making the last turning knob just a little bit, causing it to spin out of control so that he can't reach it, and then he falls backwards into the water. But ultimately, it was a great run, and he definitely deserves some recognition for that. For number 2, we have David Alvarez. We're still in that LA City Qualifiers course, so the obstacles are going to be looking exactly the same as the previous run. So David Alvarez has a very motivating story. He was a rookie this year, and basically the premise of it is he was separated from his baby sister a long time ago, and he only has one thing to remember her by, which is her pacifier. Now of course he remembers that day very vividly, and she, being a baby, would not recall that. And so his reason in running the course is to try and reconnect with his baby sister. And ultimately I can really empathize with this guy, with his story, and how family really kind of gets messed up sometimes. Heads into walk the plank, pretty simple for him. Now after walk the plank is when things get a little crazy. So I love how his shirt So both his nips are out. It says like Issa on his shirt. I don't know, I just thought it was kind of funny. But he goes straight into spring forward and he catches that first transfer with one hand. It's absolutely insane. This guy's he's not light. He's a big guy. So he definitely displays that grip strength right there. Gets through the rest of the obstacle, clearing it, making it look pretty simple. On the diamond dash, those long legs help him out. He hits the board straight in the middle, each one going through it effortlessly. And then with the spin hopper, he hesitates at the very beginning, taking a few extra little pumps to get himself going, but once he's up, he's out. Gets through it very efficiently and up the warped wall, hitting a buzzer in his rookie year. And it's really, really inspiring. After he hits the buzzer, he takes a second to remove something from his pocket, and it is his sister's pacifier. Great work to David Alvarez, a very inspiring run. For our number 3, we are going to be moving into Atlanta. This guy's name is Glenn Davis, and he is 56 years old, which is absolutely amazing that he's able to still do this and that he has a passion for it. It's very, very motivating. So Davis coaches at a ninja gym in Atlanta, and he has definitely had some experience with obstacles. To open up his run, he guns through the shrinking steps, no problem there. Next, for this second obstacle, it is off the hook. And it looks a bit daunting at first, but he makes quick work of it, really having an effective amount of swings and a really solid transfer. For the third obstacle on block run, he goes so fast. He looks like he's 20 years old. The fact that his body is just so fit and strong and capable, it is so impressive. Next, he gets up to the bouncing spider. So he goes through the spider portion of it very quickly, takes a quick second to calculate the trampoline, and really aims for that middle section. Finally, on the Ferris wheel, he takes a lot of time on that obstacle. And that's very impressive because it really displays his grip strength and his muscular endurance. He gets twisted up with his hand placement once, but he gets through it. It's just on that very final fall that he gets peeled off of the obstacle. So Glenn, that was one of the most impressive runs that I've ever seen, and I can't wait to see what you bring next year. For our fourth athlete, it's going to be Tyler Poole, and his run is in the Atlanta City qualifiers. Now this guy, what makes him special is that he is a 13-year veteran in the NFL. The fact that this guy's 47 and running the course, that's just so impressive. Then you take a look at this guy's physique. It's nuts, the muscular development that this guy's got, it's crazy. Where his televised run starts is on off the hook, the second obstacle. And this guy makes this look so easy. What he does before the transfer is he swings up. He gets the ring off of the peg that it's resting on, and then he extends his arms, brings it back down, and then extends it up just in time to catch it where he needs to. He does this all while he is in the air, and it's just so impressive to watch, and you'll miss it in the blink of an eye. He rushes through block run, and you can tell the way he lands on all fours that he is a very experienced NFL player. He lands in a very athletic stance. Clearly he gets past the bouncing spider, and the next obstacle they show is the Ferris wheel. He gets very far in this obstacle, and I'm impressed because I feel like this guy didn't have much ninja training prior to competing on the show. Next up, for number 5, we have Mike Gillespie, and we are in Oklahoma City. This one looks like a super fun course, and the reason why I chose this guy is because he just looks like he's having so much fun on the course, and his sideline, his cheering team, it's so clown, it's so funny. They feature a guy dressed in a pencil costume doing the limbo, and it pans over to his cheering section, and you can clearly tell that everyone who's there to watch him, they got lit before they came to see A&W. I don't know what they did, but they're acting a fool. I mean, I feel like everyone who showed up to see him, they were just like over the influence, you know what I'm saying? It was very entertaining to watch, and he did put on a pretty decent run, falling on the coconut climb, and it looked like his foot got kind of caught in that handle, but it was a very entertaining run to watch, and I just enjoyed it, so I thought I'd put it here for you guys. Next up in OKC, we have, for the number 6, we're gonna combine two athletes, kind of. It's gonna be weird. So we have Eric Middleton. This guy's an outstanding athlete, and I know him personally. Always impressive to watch him run. He brings a vibe to the course that is just unlike any other. Unfortunately, this season, he did take a very early fall on that third obstacle, just barely missing his footing on the dismount. So I hope that for season 12, he can bring back his Vegas streak, because we all know that Eric Middleton is definitely capable. Immediately after Eric's run finishes is Ben Wales, and so I also know Ben. He's a very insane athlete. Just both Eric and Ben coach at Conquer Ninja Gyms in Minnesota. And so Ben has been trying to get it on the show for years, and he's never really had success. So this year he did as a walk-on, and the run that he brought to Oklahoma was absolutely just killer. As he was going through the course, Matt and Akbar were just shocked as to who this guy is. He had so much energy, lightning speed, and he just got through the entire course without a problem because he trained so freaking hard. It's absolutely insane. So Ben and Eric both did Ben and Eric, you guys did such a great job on that course, and even though Eric might not have done as well as he had hoped, it's always great seeing him on the show. Next up for number 7, we have another athlete that I personally know. His name is Hunter Girard. So we're going back to the LA City qualifiers, and this guy just killed it. If you watch his run, he speeds through the course so fast. It looks like he took like 5 scoops of pre-workout before his run. Just the agility and the body awareness that he has is unlike any other athlete I've ever seen. And so without any doubt, he gets through every single obstacle, smooth, calculated, and just annihilates the fastest time. Later bringing it to the power tower and taking the dub. So great job, Hunter. You are such an inspiration, and this season was definitely yours. Next up for number 8, we have Marquez Green. He is a college student that I also know personally. There's kind of a trend here. And so him and his twin brother competed the same day, same course, and Nathan, his brother, fell on the second obstacle. And so when Marquez came to the course, he had the beta, he knew what to do. So he gets on the course looking very confident, takes a few extra swings on those lunatic ledges, but he gets through it pretty efficiently. On the barrel roll, you can tell that he really wants to get through this course. He doesn't want to make any mistakes, so he's taking his time with it, which is a very smart approach. Probably one I should have taken for city finals. He does take a few extra swings, but he gets through this obstacle no problem. Then with the broken bridge, he displays his track skills, making quick work of the balance obstacle. Onto the lightning bolts on the first transfer, he gets it a little bit wonky, but then he makes sure to be calculative and corrects it. Very impressive. Gets through that 5th lightning bolt obstacle. I hate the lightning bolt so much. Moving right along to number 9, we are in Baltimore, and we are taking a look at Brandon Stenta. So this guy, he has an 8-year-old son. He's very young, a very young dad. His girlfriend left him right after she had the kid, and so he was left with this baby as a single dad. He had to really be there for his kid, and he talked about the struggles and sacrifices he made. Watching that story, it just made me tear up. And I've never ever teared up for A&W before. And so that's part of the reason why I'm putting this run in, because just how heartwarming it is. And I actually decided to put his run in before I saw the run. So after just watching kind of the cinematic story clip that they displayed, and then I watched his run, I was like, this just left me shocked. It was crazy. Watching through his entire run, the suspense, it was there for every obstacle, for every move, because I was scared. I was rooting for this guy, and that's the point of A&W. It's to find individuals that you can really connect with. Well, I suppose, I mean, I don't have a son, so there's a disconnect there, but like, you're rooting for the guy. He's the underdog, and you want him to do well. Watching him just clear obstacle after obstacle and just looking so happy and celebratory. And I really love how he keeps looking back at his son, smiling, and you can tell that the kid just sees the world in his dad. And that, when I hope to be a dad, that's really what I want to have with a child. I don't know how I got off on that. That's kind of awkward. But I mean, this guy, he's like the second best dad in the world. Second to mine, of course, because I love my dad. He's great. But Brandon, after he finishes the course, gets on top of the wall, looks at his son, shouts his name, and you can really feel the bond, feel the connection that those two have. It's absolutely incredible. And last but certainly not least, for number 10 is Mike Bernardo. So you guys might have seen him. He's not an unknown ninja because he's been to Vegas for 4 years. This guy's got a lot of skill, a lot of technique, and a lot of strength. I love his interview. He's so monotone in his interview. It's hilarious. And then I love at the beginning, right when he's about to run the course, he's like, he's absolutely mean mugging the camera. And it gets me. It's kind of funny. And then they proceed to say that he has a muscle twitching kind of disorder. And then I feel crappy about myself for laughing at that. I feel like Ninja Warrior throws that kind of stuff at you. They show something that looks a little funny, and it's kind of like a lighthearted laugh, and then they tell you the story and you're like, oh, you kind of feel bad about yourself for laughing because, okay. Mike Bernardo, right. So he's got this muscle twitch thing that could really mess up his run. And so Matt and Akbar even start out with saying, very brave to compete this season, and it's impressive that he's made it this far, that he's come to the starting point and is just gonna begin the course, because they don't think he's gonna make it that far. And now if you just take a look at this guy, he's freaking jacked. He's lean, he's got muscular development. You can tell, you would assume that he would do well on this course. And your assumptions would take you pretty far because he gets through every single obstacle, no problem at all. And then my favorite highlight out of his run was getting to see him take on the spinning bridge. It was absolutely insane. His footwork was precise, and then he dove for the dismount, doing a nice combat roll. It was beautiful. The athleticism that he brought to that course just shocked my mind. And he was thinking he wasn't even going to compete that year. So it was just so impressive that he decided just out of the blue randomly just to, I'll try it again. Alright, so that is the 10 athletes. Great work to all of the competitors this season. And then for the 11th run, 11th, I suppose, is going to be me, Ben Martin. Wow, what did you know? I just want to throw my clip of my run in and kind of talk about it a little bit because I didn't get to do that in the video that I released before with my city qualifier run. So basically I started the course off with the shrinking steps. Felt pretty good. I felt like I was leaning to the side a little bit, so I just jumped for the rope. Got through it pretty easily. On the lunatic ledges, now they didn't air these because they only put on a portion of my clip, which is a little bit unfortunate, although I am glad they got to show my cork during like the intro sequence. It was kind of dope. But for the lunatic ledges, I took like an extra swing on that first ledge. When I made the transfer, I caught the handle, my feet missed the foot kind of ledge, and I just smacked my groin right into that ledge, and it hurt. I didn't like that. And every athlete that I had seen do that had fallen immediately after, like going for the dismount. So I was like, well, there goes my run. That was a fun one. But no, so I climbed up, kind of regained myself. I think I took like 2 or 3 swings going back and forth waiting to dismount off that thing, and I finally got it. And so I just hucked it and I somehow landed on the mat, and I was like, okay. So we went on to the barrel roll. This one was probably my favorite one just because of how much air you get. So I started off, got a huge swing, dismounted off of it. I flew so far. I flew past like the first landing pad, and so I landed on my butt on like the next landing pad. Akbar was like, whoa, because it was a lot of air, and I was like, whoa. I just kind of flew. Yeah, I landed on my butt a lot during that course. It's all good though. And then for the next broken bridge, I was kind of scared because I didn't know how balance was going to be for me. Although being a parkour athlete, I do have some experience with it. I've done some things where if my feet were not, hitting the right spots, and if my footwork wasn't precise, I would have fallen and died. There have been situations that I've been in that I put myself in, which is unfortunate because I'm not going to be doing that again because I have. Okay, yeah, we'll talk about that a different day. And the lightning bolts, that went really well. I'm really surprised I got through it on the first night because I just went for it. I was at the point where I was super surprised I got that far. So I was like, I'm just gonna go for it. So I popped it. It was great. Some people did the wonky, like they got one wrong, but then they had to correct the other one. I didn't do that. Nope, none of that first night. Okay, I had no clue what I was doing, but it was just luck. And so as I was going, people were watching on like the TV screen. They were zooming in kind of where my placement was with the bar. And as I was going, I was slowly creeping like in one direction. And I was at the point where I wasn't even an inch on the rung. And so it was like a guaranteed fall. But then when I made that last transfer, somehow it miraculously corrected itself back to like normal position. And then everyone was like, whoa, that was crazy. And then I went down, did the warped wall pretty much immediately. I went pretty fast because I wasn't expecting to get that far. I didn't know what to do in between each obstacle except for go for the next obstacle. Got up the wall, and then I called Akbar bro, so that was kind of awkward. I'm really glad they didn't show that. That would have been, yeah, that was a good call on Canaan Productions. They had me interview with Zuri afterwards, kind of talking about my course run, talking about what it meant for me and how much I love my parents, and how much of an impact my parents have had on my life. And then we also did some interviews for like, oh, what happens if you make it to the power tower? But then I ended up making 6th place, so wasn't quite fast enough for the power tower. Well, thank you guys so much for watching this video. This was a fun one to make. I hope you guys enjoy this content because I'm going to be making a top 10 city finals video and a top 10 national finals Vegas. If you're excited for those future videos, be sure to hit that subscribe button and just nick that bell alongside with that, because that would also ensure that you won't miss those videos. Give this one a like if you enjoyed it. Drop a comment in the section below whose run was your favorite. Doesn't have to be on this list. And we will catch you guys on that next video.